Hi, good morning. It is just gone 10 a.m. South African time, and we are live with the relaunch of a TourismX, the Mice Edition. My name is Gerard Davids, founder of TalkX TV, where we host TourismX, the Mice Edition. And as I've mentioned, this is our relaunch edition. Today, we've got an exciting lineup ranging from the Southern African Communications Industry Association that will be talking about their event safety summit coming up in June. We would have Lance Nekwe from FCM and M&E Travel, who would be talking about the business travel trends for 2026. Following Lance would be Handy Jalpot, and hopefully the past chairman of EXA, Exhibition Association of South Africa, that would share more details with us regarding the Global Exhibitions Day activation on 3rd of June. Following EXA would be Tess Bruce, well-known industry personality, that will be sharing her thought leadership on the state of the sector and why in-person connections are slightly just still delivering more results than exhibitions, which are easily forgotten. We also have a few events that we will be covering in the MICE sector. We would look at the International Exhibition Event Logistics Association and the upcoming annual Congress in Sun City in June this year. We would talk to the host of the next World Travel Awards Africa edition, the general manager of Diamonds Bajuk in Zanzibar, to share with our audience as to what they could expect if they were to attend the World Travel Awards Africa edition in, I'm not so sure if it's September, October, August, end of August this year. It slipped me there for a minute. Then we will have Kwache Donko, CEO of African Tourism Partners, to talk about their upcoming Africa Business Tourism and MICE Masterclass. Then we would have the Festival of Eventing is launching the second edition, but this time around in Johannesburg, moving from Cape Town where they held it last year. And our penultimate guest would be Calvin Rukenya, the founder and CEO of Meet Nairobi, also taking place in June this year. And last but not least, we will have Casey Mukiri, the convener of Africa MICE Summit and Africa MICE Hub, that is also taking place roundabout in September, alongside some big aviation event in Nairobi, Kenya. And it seems that we have a slew of events coming up. And so this is our first relaunch edition. And I've heard that there should be somebody in the studio already, and I'm not so sure if it's Kevin Jones. Let me just see. Yeah, it is. I'm going to add Kevin to the studio in a minute, or in a few seconds, and then we can talk about their upcoming event. Welcome, Kevin. Happy to have you here at the relaunch of TourismX. And let's kick off with a question as to what is it that you would like to share with us in terms of giving us more details about this year's SASIA event safety summit, and more in particular what delegates can expect from the program and discussions. Morning, Kevin.
Gerard, good morning to you. I see we have the same hairstylist that's been working on our programs. Yeah, we've got our event safety summit taking place at Gallagher Convention Centre, 27th and 28th of July. Looks like it's going to be a great event. We've got some marvelous speakers. And the idea is that what we'll do is we'll bring together a broad spectrum of stakeholders in the events industry, event organizers, event safety officers, EMS officials, particularly targeting SAPs and people working in local government who are responsible for enforcing safety protocols, for a series of discussions about the standards, the legislation, and the practices that exist in the events industry, with a particular focus on event safety. Just for any viewers, I see you still calling me Psycher. Psycher is the Institute of Chartered Accountants. We're Sakia.
I'll duly repair that. So when you type these things, your mind is well ahead of yourself. So let me just repair that first slide there. I see Tess has also joined us there, but we'll add her to the stage later on. Okay, and so thanks for that introduction. And then, how important is it for the event industry, both South Africa, and worldwide for that matter, to embed a stronger safety first culture and approach as events continue to grow in scale and complexity? I remember the late Jan Brewer always said to me, Gerrit, events organizers forget there's two types of public liability insurance. There's the one for the venue, and then there's one for the organizer. And when you share that with him, event organizers, they get quite a bit of a shock. So what are the kind of culture that we need to embed when it comes to organizing large-scale events? Kevin?
I think you hit the nail on the head. It's about embedding a philosophy within the industry that puts safety at the heart of everything that we do. We have standards, we have legislation, we have bylaws, but if people don't embrace that commitment to the philosophy of event safety, then those bylaws and the legislation and the standards that are applied simply become irrelevant. People will get hurt. And I think we've seen many instances, particularly with political rallies that have taken place where people have been injured. And actually, we often used to say, well, do we have to wait until somebody gets hurt before we embed this commitment to safety? Well, people have been hurt. And yet, in many instances, when people organize events, things are happening at the last minute. You've got tight deadlines. You've got a lot of pressure. You've got a lot of people moving through a dedicated space. And actually, safety is the last thing on somebody's mind. In fact, I think one of the challenges that we have is to say that safety is often not just an afterthought. Safety is a no thought at all. And so in essence, what we need to do is to make sure people understand that there are standards, that there is legislation, and that there are consequences for people that don't abide in a commitment to those standards and those principles. We had a situation just before Christmas where there was an event taking place at I think this was in Switzerland, where there was a fire that was started by people that were using indoor fireworks. I think 20, 30 odd people died. And we've had similar situations in South Africa as well, not so much where people have died as a result of fire, but we've had tents collapse, we've had stages collapse, we've had marquees blow away in the wind. We just can't allow that kind of thing to continue happening.
Yeah. So risk assessment or risk, some people are keen on risk assessment and others are risk averse. What would your advice be to those who say that risk assessment is it's a nuisance? We leave it as something small, as a small consideration when we plan an event.
Look, I think the reality is that the legislation, SASRIA particularly, the South African Sports and Recreational Events Act, applies to all events that take place in South Africa. And the legislation specifies that before you host an event, you have to apply to SAPS for a risk categorization. And along with that application, you have to provide a risk assessment that details the risks that are likely to take place. And once you've done so and gained your risk categorization certificate, you need to sit down and work with the local JOC, the city authorities, to develop an event safety plan that will mitigate against those risks. Now, one of the questions that you might want to ask is, how do you do that? Well, you actually do it by appointing a competent person to take on the role of the event safety officer. There are many instances in the past where the event organizer would simply say, let's give this task to my nephew. He doesn't have anything else to do. And this is an easy job, but it's not. Event safety is a complex task that involves multiple facets of an event, and if it's not done properly, people will get hurt. So then the question is, well, how do you ensure when you're appointing somebody that they are competent, that they know what they're talking about? One of the things that we've been doing, one of the things that we've been doing with SACIA is that we have developed, along with SACWA, a professional designation for event safety officers. So now you have the ability, when you're appointing a person to take on the role of the event safety officer, to say, tell us about the qualifications or the professional designations that you have.
Yes.
The consequence, if you don't employ a competent person and something goes wrong at your event, you're the person, as the event organizer, that's responsible. You can't pass that liability on to somebody else. It's you that is on the line. So when things go wrong, if you haven't appointed a competent person, you're the one that's going to bear the consequences.
Great. So leading on to that, Kevin, you have the Event Safety Summit coming up in June this year, is it? And
July 27th, 28th.
Okay, thanks for that correction. What practical outcomes do organizers, safety officers, and government stakeholders that hopefully will attend, what is it that they could expect as a kind of a learning and exchange or a platform at this year's edition of the summit?
So we've got some great speakers that are participating in the event. Gayton McKenzie is our keynote speaker. He's going to be talking about some of the mega events that he's got in his sights to attract South Africa. The Department of Sport, Arts and Culture are also the custodians of the SASRIA Act. So one of the sessions that we have is a workshop where we're going to be looking at SASRIA. And as an outcome of the workshop, we're going to be making specific recommendations to the department on what needs to be done to upgrade the SASRIA Act. Of course, it was first published in 2010. There was a SASRIA Amendment Act that was published in 2017. But in essence, SASRIA was published 15, 16 years ago. And in an industry that develops as fast as the events industry, it's certainly something that needs to be updated. I think the other thing is that we've got great speakers from local government. And one of the things that we really do need to do is to create greater collaboration between local government, who are responsible for enforcement of bylaws and the enforcement of safety standards, and event organizers. And one of the sad things, I think, is that right now we're in a situation where the relationship with, or the relationship between event organizers and local government is largely confrontational. They want to enforce rules. We want to get our event on the ground and running. Everybody wants to create a safe environment, but conflict. Yes. And actually, one of the key elements that needs to come out of this is to create an environment in which there is greater collaboration, cooperation, where local government and event organizers are working together to create a safe working environment, a safe event spaces, rather than that conflict that seems to exist at the moment.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. And in closing, you had this pledge that you committed the industry to, that you made with the Gauteng provincial government. Could you just, in short, share more details about that and how that could play out as a learning curve at the summit?
Well, so the document that you're talking about is called the Gauteng Integrity Pledge. So it was developed by the Gauteng Ethics Advisory Council. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about during our summit is the importance of ethics in the events and entertainment industry. And in particular, one of the challenges that the Gauteng provincial government has been looking at is to say, within their procurement processes, how do they ensure that when they award a contract, they award it to somebody that is competent, that is ethical, and that can do the job that, they want to know that that when they buy a tin of baked beans, they're going to open it, it's going to have baked beans in it? How do they make sure they appoint the right people? And essentially what we have done with the Gauteng provincial government is signed this integrity pledge, in which we will work together to promote ethical business practices in the events and entertainment industry, and where we will hold members that are found not to have behaved in a responsible and ethical fashion accountable for those, for their behavior. We can't allow people to get away with doing slipshod jobs. They need to embrace that commitment to safe working practices, but they also need to do so in a responsible and ethical fashion, and that's what the Integrity Pledge is all about.
Okay, great stuff. And Kevin, I think we all would like to wish you a very productive, successful, and summit that would lead to many, many, many implementation of the outcomes, as we say in the past. Outcomes-based education is more important than just learning. There needs to be some action taken after the event. Kevin, I need to get it right, Kevin. It is the South African Communications Industry Association, SASIA, is it in short, and not SAICA? That is the accountants. Kevin,
yes.
Thanks for coming along. And we'll hopefully would like to have you maybe just shortly before the summit to make a return and perhaps just talk about the agenda in detail. Thanks for coming along. Until next time.
That's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it. Cheerio.
Thank you, Kevin. So we were supposed to have Lance Nekwe next up, but I'm not seeing Lance in the studio. If I'm mistaken, maybe Hanley and Sibusiso, with your permission, could we then deal with the extra presentation or conversation? Let me just add you to the stage. Okay, great. Good morning. You guys can hear us loud and clear?
Yes, we can. Morning.
Yes,
morning,
we can.
Hanley.
Thank you. Good morning.
Oh, that's a strong voice coming through there. So I invited Exa to come along and to, in particular, talk about the upcoming celebration and activation around Global Exhibitions Day. Sabu or Handy, the floor is yours. Whoever would like to shoot can start and share with us what is the intention around this year's celebrations, and give us more details on your activities, in particular on the 3rd of June, when we celebrate Global Exhibitions Day. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Good morning to your fellow listeners and Hanley. Good morning. Well, the Global Exhibition Day is a celebration that's been held for over, it's the 11th year currently, and it's organized by UFI, the Global Association of the Exhibition Industry. It's aimed at obviously celebrating our industry with more than 900 participants across the globe who will be celebrating in different ways. Some do training, some do staff wellness programs, and many like us will be doing something fun to celebrate this day.
Okay, great. Hanley, anything you would like to add to that introductory words?
No, just joining in on the global platform with our colleagues from across the world to celebrate this wonderful industry that we work in. And so it's an opportunity for us to showcase the work that we do and the passion that we have for what we do, and maybe tell people a little bit more about this wonderful career.
Perhaps you could elaborate on that, Hanley or Sabu, because a lot of people are not particularly aware as to what are the ancient objectives of Global Exhibitions Day, to portray the industry as a value-added segment. And a lot of people see exhibitions, they attend exhibitions, but they don't see the economy behind it. And I think that's perhaps also the aim of the celebration, is to say to people, this is what we're about. Could you elaborate on that, perhaps?
I'll start off. I just want to say, people don't think this is a real job. If you tell people you work in exhibitions, they say, but so what do you actually do? And you say, but that is my job, So we actually want to open people's minds to this wonderful career path that we have all chosen. And there's so much more to events, which is like the umbrella name for everything that we do, but there's so much more. Infrastructure supply, you look at your AV, you look at furniture supply, you look at the stand builders, you look at so many other aspects that are all involved in event management. So what we want to do is really just tell people we are here, we are playing a big role in the economy, and this is all the different facets of the work that we do. So Sabu, if you want me to continue about what we're planning for next week, I'm happy to. So we want to locally, test the skills of our members in terms of teamwork, creativity, and problem solving, because that's all the kind of things that we do every day. Every day, all our members are challenged with certain things. So we're going to go to Joburg Expo Center, where we will have 8 different pit stops that will be manned by some of our members and other associations like EGF and Sakia that we've partnered with, and then we will put our members and people that have entered for this through some tests. They have a time limit and they have to complete certain challenges within that time limit. Some of it will be creative ask of them, some of it will be a skills test to see how fast they can build something, and others will be to solve like a puzzle. But also in keeping with our environmental policies that we support with EGF, we want to put people on bicycles. They need to, use their power, their leg power, to make themselves a smoothie. And that is also to keep it within the greening space that we also support as an industry. I don't know, Sabu, if you want to add something?
No, I think you've definitely hit the nail on the head. Maybe just to also add on to what Mr. Davis had also asked about, what is it about our role in the eventing industry? Exhibitions, as you mentioned also, Hanley, that it's something that's part of the marketing mix, and it's in the business to business arena. We also do have business to consumer spaces where when we're showcasing and we're able to sell on the floor directly. But the opportunity is for people to foster their collective efforts and expand their skills in creating a meaningful connections that supports careers, communities, and global collaboration. That's what exhibition actually does for people in large.
Yeah. So thank you. Hanley has touched on what participants can expect, and stakeholders for that matter can expect at this year's celebrations and activities and events. So what is the big excitement? Is there something big that people should say, I need to come and share in the celebrations of global exhibitions day, Hanley?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to recognize some of the young professionals also as part of this. So they have, completed their studies in event management. They've now done an internship and they qualify for the designation as a young professional. So Sakia will be handing out certificates to them. And then we're also bringing students from the Tshwane University of Technology, currently busy with their event management course, to the event to say, we want to introduce you to the larger scope of the work that you've been studying. Unfortunately, there's a perception if you're in event management, you walk with a clipboard and a headset and you get a bit of the glamour. It's the gala evenings, the Oscars, the corporate events, and it's much harder work than that. But it's a very rewarding career. So we also want to just give them a taste of what it is. And I think the big thing that people can expect and why they should join us is to say, we love what we do. Even if we maybe not recognized everywhere as a professional career, we want to say this is what we chose to do. And if you talk to people in this industry, none of them decided that's what they wanted to do. They accidentally ended up in this, and once they've tasted that, they don't want to leave. It becomes part of the DNA. And I think the group of people that will come together on the 3rd is just going to give one strong message to say we love what we do, and we know that we're playing an important part in the marketing mix and in the economy with the kind of the setups that we deliver for our customers.
No, great. Sabu, what will be the biggest exciting part of the program for you this year?
So previously in the other GED days, we've competed quite fearlessly, and I've been trying to win. I've won for the past couple of years, but yes, last year I was dethroned. So the competition is going to be rife this year. I'm definitely entering my team from my company, Marketing Well, to go compete in this amazing race that we're going to be participating in. And I can't wait to win.
Okay.
It's
Lastly,
always, sorry, Gerrit, it's always competitive, on the exhibition floor. Maybe this year Cebu built for this company, next year it's my company, and we want to see who's getting the best result, who's doing the best. And it builds up towards our awards function, where we also recognize good, good stand builds and design. So the competitive spirit is very much alive in this industry, but it's all in a very friendly manner.
100%.
yeah, competition is good, yeah, all round. Now, lastly, and in closing to the two of you, so what outcomes does the industry hope to achieve, from a business point of view through this year's focus? Because the focus this year is on people, planet, and performance. Corporates would say people, planet, and profit, but I see you replace the word profit with performance. So what is the triple P as an outcome this year for the celebrations, Andy?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we want to make people aware that this is a career. We want to make people aware that they need to collaborate as well in this industry to survive. It's not a one-man show. You need to stick together and use the people next to you and work with us, work together to achieve. The planet part is obviously our commitment. The planet part is obviously our commitment to, the greener environments. We also support the Better Stands initiative. A lot of our members are members of the Event Greening Forum, and we are also, always attending their meetings and supporting their goals and objectives. So obviously wanting to do our part for reuse, for repurposing of exhibition stands. And then the performance is, linking onto Sakia with designations, looking at professionalizing our industry, getting more people upskilled. Like I said, a lot of people ended up in this industry by something that happened in their lives, and now we need to professionalize that, to say we are good at what we do, and we need to up our game so that our performance will always be better. There's always a little raising the bar, just one notch, so that we can always strive to be better.
Yeah. Shabu, before I come to you for closing words, what other programs are there, Hanley, that X is currently running to attract more people to the industry, just for information purposes?
Yeah, Gerrit, it remains a challenge. Like I say, young people, unfortunately, when they come into this industry and they hear of the long hours that we work, they all shy away and they say, no, this is not for me. I don't want to work every weekend. However, what people don't often tell them is that you also have the opportunity to sort of manage your diary, in the sense that you can give time and attention to other focus areas in your life as well. So one of the focus areas will be definitely to, work with students, with younger people. And I see Dr. Lisa has made a comment on that the third year students will be there. And that's what we want to do. We want to take hands with the students, of Cape Peninsula University of Technology, TUT here and closer to Gauteng, and all the others in the event management training space, and really see if we can nurture the next generation of stand builders, organizers. We need people to come into this business to become the next event organizer or the next stand building company. And that is our focus, to really work closer with them, take hands and strengthen their curriculum.
No, great stuff. As I always say when I attend these travel and tourism exhibitions, I see very few young people attending. And I'm concerned, because if the likes of us is no longer there tomorrow, are they going to take over, and how? Or is AI going to take over, for that matter? Thank you, Hanley, for your contribution. And in conclusion, Sabu, last few remarks from your side about EXA and global exhibitions that are coming up?
Yes, thank you. And I think Hanley has put a nail on the head there. And I don't have much to actually say. In my past tenure as the chairperson, the drive has always been about the young people. A lot of us are quite on the older side. So we definitely need them to be coming back on board. So with the Global Exhibition Day also, this is a hope that we can attract them using fun ways, so that they can know and understand. Because some people, as Hanley definitely said, they trip and fall and end up in the exhibition industry. They don't necessarily know what it is. So we definitely hoping for for the younger crowd to come through. This is our drive to them and our plea to them to show them and showcase our industry so that they can come on board. It's all about them being able to perform when we are no longer there to perform for the older generation.
No, great stuff. And I'm very fond of saying that all the time. Great stuff when I hear people are excited about the future and what it is that we can do as a collective. You know, the big word is collaboration. Thank you, Hanley. Thank you, Sabu, for coming along to share with us a bit of work that EXA is doing, as well as what we could look forward to enjoying on Global Exhibitions Day on the 3rd of June this year. I'll hope to catch up with you either on the day or soon thereafter. Thanks for coming along. Until next time.
Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Hanley. Thanks, Sabu. If you're still there in the studio, you're most welcome to stay and view the proceedings from there if you can. Like Dr. Whitman that made the comment, I would just like to invite others as well if they want to make their comments, because we can easily post it on the live stream itself. So because we're running 10 minutes ahead of schedule, because one of our scheduled speakers did not pitch up yet, I would, with permission, Tess, I see you there, and I'm going to add you to the stage. With your permission, if you perhaps, Tess, are you there? We do not see a picture of Tess there. But...
All good, I'm here.
Oh, you're there. How's the flu coming along, Tess? Morning.
Morning. You can probably hear my sexy Greta Garbo voice. So the flu is coming along just nicely, thank you. Otherwise, all good. Nice and wet in Cape Town at the moment. I don't know how
great.
I can turn my camera on.
Yeah.
Can you do it for me, perhaps?
No. We all good. Whatever we desire, that shall be. There we go. Yeah. Not great. Nice to see the face to the voice. So Tess, the reason why we invited you is that you recently stated in the April edition of Business Events Africa, and I quote, you said, "It is remarkable how quickly the energy of Meetings Africa fades into memory." And that would probably go for all other events, if I may have liberty to add. And you said, yet the impact of what follows often proves far more enduring. The impact, what follows, often proves far more enduring. And you said that beyond the exhibition floor, it is carefully curated familiarization journeys that truly shape perception, where we now visit the suppliers, the product owners, that truly shape the perception of what is on offer. And you also said that it unlocks new opportunities and ultimately influence incentive travel decisions from where you sit. Kindly share with us a broader perspective on your statement.
Pleasure. Well, so we've all been to exhibitions, trade shows, all these good things. But you know, the fam trip is so critical in selling your destination. And it's something that can be so easily scrambled up, leaving a bad taste, leaving a bad impression, you know, not just for the DMC or the tour operator, but certainly for the destination. So we are in serious competition from an incentive travel perspective. Globally, we compete against Australia, we compete against Thailand, we compete against Brazil, many other destinations. So you have one opportunity to get it right. So if people come out for instance, a Meetings Africa, and you do a familiarization, we just call it a FAMPA for short, make sure that you blow their minds. Because for many of them, they've never been to Africa before, let alone South Africa. And that experience has got to leave a lasting positive impression. Because first of all, they come with preconceived ideas, well, about security, which is, we have security issues in some parts of the country, but, you know, we have to explain to them that where there's certain pockets, We don't pay tourists there. That's localized. It happens, but it's, we're not going to say the problem's not there. So the first thing we have to do is allay those fears of security. There are still some people who think that we have elephants walking in the street. Well, guess what? If you go to Joburg, Botswana, you do. So it's not completely unusual. Then we plan it in such a way that the people who are on the fam trip, and quite often they're strangers, haven't met before, and I'll explain the difference between a fam trip and a site inspection shortly. They haven't met before. So now you have to pray that the personalities get along. And we were really fortunate with this last one. We had 4 people from all different walks of life, literally Brazil, Spain, Italy, and Kenya, actually. And they got on like a house on fire. What a joy. So on top of curating all the experiences, you sometimes have to manage personalities as well. Sometimes there's just one person that complains about everything. Doesn't matter how hard you work, how much you treat and spoil them, always something. But we were really lucky this time. They were just a bunch of fun and funny people too. And little surprises, stuff like a hot air balloon safari, unplanned. But now, are you keen to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning? Why? Well, hot air balloon safari. And then, people are blown away. And then we come to Cape Town, the little gifts, curated gifts. And also, some people love gifting, but consider what can I put in their handbag or in their suitcase and take home? Because quite often people travel with just a carry-on. So there's no point in giving them big and beautiful sculptures and big leather bags and things like that. They end up leaving that home. So give them small, personalized gifts that they can take home, often share with their family if it's not something that's going to sit on their desk. And then, sidecars, vintage cars, all of those things. Write it into the program as if they are the people experiencing the incentive trip. So that's already a big win because now they've actually got something to take home to sell to their clients. Because most of the time, the people who would attend our fam trips would be agencies or incentive houses. So they then have several clients, be it the BMW, Hewlett Packard, Fujitsu, Siemens, whatever the case might be. And if their clients haven't been to South Africa before, one of the first things they're going to do, in fact, one of our people did it, is put forward a presentation of the entire trip that we've done, including the winelands, going up Table Mountain, doing a little brandy tasting at Van Rains, those sort of things. So he created his own story and published that. And we've already had 4 inquiries just from that. So it's really a case of showcasing your destination to its best. And in order to get that right, your relationships with your service providers, with your partners, your hotel, venues, restaurants, has got to be so, so critical because those are the people who deliver at the end of the day. So on arrival, there's my company logo on the screen, Welcome Crystal Events, with, everybody's names, beautiful little snackies, drinking on arrival, and a welcome from the general manager. It all adds to the points. I've had experiences where I arrive at a hotel, nobody's expecting me, even though I confirmed it the day before, and it took 20 minutes for the duty manager to arrive, who said, I haven't got time to do it. My receptionist will show you around. So we ended up going into venues that were locked, rooms that weren't ready. And guess what? Client didn't buy the hotel. So those fam trips and site inspections are often a make or break situation. And then just to explain the difference between the fam trip and the site inspection for the younger people in the industry, your fam trip is usually a collective of people from different companies. And that would sometimes, take place after a Meetings Africa or in Indaba, something like that. Or the company would invite, at our own cost, invite several agencies and put together a trip for them to showcase the safari experience, the Cape Town, Victoria Falls, all of that. A site inspection, and it's something that I've got arriving today, is when a client is specifically looking at your destination with the idea of bringing a group to the country. So in this case, we are in competition with Thailand. So we now have to blow the client away. So it's the agency coming with their end client. And after this trip, they will decide, are we going to South Africa or are we going to Thailand? So again, we've got one opportunity to get it right. And then you pull out all the stops. You just make sure that they get the best service, the best restaurant, the best experiences, surprise helicopter trip around the peninsula, and those sort of things. I think that's my story in a nutshell, really, is to make those first impressions, make the right ones, and ask the right questions, because we also learn from our clients, because every industry is different. And clients also have their own preferences. Some prefer a more classic hotel, some prefer a very modern hotel. But we've got to listen, we've got to pay attention and ask the right questions in order to deliver the right product. Thank you, Gerrit.
No, good, Tess. Thanks for that wisdom that you shared with us now. So just in closing, and I'm putting you on the spot here now, if I have to say to you, the big word for this year is collaboration, what would your statement be to the industry at large around collaboration as a collective? Thank you.
It's critical. It's not optional, it's critical. It's quite true what Hanli touched on earlier, and I think even to a point as well. Our industry is in danger, and you also mentioned it, Gerrit, in danger of lack of young blood. We do not have enough people coming into the industry. And to an extent, I want to point fingers at some bosses as well. So you've employed young people, but why aren't you exposing them, having them join the associations, do the training courses, do the fam trips? That's how you learn. You need product knowledge. And in some industries, like Kevin's industry, you need the practical, technical knowledge. We definitely have a danger of, not being able to fill our boots one of these days, because we're not getting any younger. And what concerns me is the lack of experience. And I see it everywhere. Our young people, unfortunately, and I'm blaming COVID for this as well, because a lot of our youngsters qualified through COVID and didn't have practical experience. And then they suddenly let loose in the workplace, and 3 months later they break. The question is, are we providing the right support? Do we have the capacity to provide the right support? We definitely have a skills problem, a skills shortage amongst our young people. And I really think as an industry, we need to take a deeper look into that and find a way, whether it be workshops, road shows, I don't know what it might be, but we need to train our industry and actually get new people interested in what we do. Because as you say, a couple of months down the line, we're not going to have people to run our hotels and our event management companies. And therefore, collaboration at the moment is key. I do it. I invite competitors actually to partner with, because I know this person can get the job done. I don't have to, watch over his or her shoulder all the time to make sure that things are being done, that things are communicated correctly. So, and I did it last year with a very big group as well. In fact, we were 5 different companies working together on operating a huge incentive group. And, they become part of my company, and vice versa. If I help them, I become part of their company. It's an extension of our industry, really. So we do have to collaborate. And I think we've done so successfully in quite a few cases. That's me.
No, thanks, Tess. That's where we have to leave it for now. Hopefully, we'll catch up end of next month again, and we'll perhaps touch on another topic that the industry should sit up and listen to the wise words of Tess Purus there. Thank you, Tess. Until next time.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Okay, great stuff. So we have Calvin in the room since the start of the live streaming. Calvin, I'm going to add you to the stage because we're still waiting for the other panelists to come into the studio. And perhaps, Calvin, if you can maybe just put on your camera. There you go. Welcome to TourismX, my citizen, Calvin.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate, and for the opportunity, I really appreciate.
So, Calvin, your event is also in June. Meet in Nairobi, if memory serves me correct.
Yes, yeah, it's Meet Nairobi. Maybe if I can correct you, it's Meet Nairobi, not Meeting Nairobi, because we are promoting
Yes.
the entire East Africa in terms of MICE readiness and preparedness.
Okay. So, give us some details of the conference and what makes Meet in Nairobi such a strategic platform or event for advancing business events, travel, and tourism, perhaps not only in East Africa, but across Africa. Would you share that details with us?
All right, thank you so much. So maybe just a brief introduction or overview. So Meet Nairobi is a business event and travel trade show where we are bringing in together, buyers, global buyers, regional buyers, tourism groups, convention bureaus, airlines, hotels, DMCs, and corporate travel managers, and also event planners, and one platform focusing on business growth and collaboration, and also knowledge exchange, because we have an opportunity where we will be giving education to future leaders in the city. Um, the event is also designed to go beyond traditional exhibition by combining research with B2B meetings, leadership forums, and also networking experiences where we have like 2 nights of experience with two of our partners, that's Hyatt Regency and also Office in Africa, where they'll be hosting some evening networking receptions for the buyers and also for the key hosting buyers that we have. And
Okay.
then
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
and then also we'll be partnering with the likes of Site Africa, led by Tess, and also ICA, led by Frank from Kigali.
Yeah. Are
Yes.
you there?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a bit of background noise. If you could try and either reduce or eliminate that, Calvin, if it's not too much asked. But then, secondly, how would Meet Nairobi 2026 create business development, networking? You've touched on some of it, and partnership opportunities between global buyers, destinations, airlines, hotels, and event industry stakeholders. How would that would be facilitated by the gathering? Calvin? Calvin,
Sorry about that.
there we
Can you hear
go.
me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I would say is that the buyers will be attending the event and they will have opportunities to connect with direct destinations, representatives, hotels and airlines, and also travel agents. So meaning they will be creating a high targeted environment for business sourcing, partnership and also market expansion. And also beyond the exhibition flow, the event will include networking exceptions, leadership sessions, panel discussions, supplier showcase, forums, and so on that will be going parallel to each other. And then also additionally, the Meet Nairobi platform will provide for industry stakeholders to discuss strategic partnership, announce collaborations, and explore investment opportunities, and align on initiatives that support growth of Africa business events and tourism sector.
Okay. So lastly, why is Meet Nairobi important for positioning the city, the country, and the region East Africa as a competitive and investment-ready business events destination?
Thank you so much. Yeah, so with Nairobi, it's important because it provides Nairobi and also the wider East Africa region, of which our focus is also to grow to Africa-wise. But first of all, because this being our first edition, we need to start strategically for the East African region, and then create a platform to showcase the capability of the region as a leading business events destination, and also for incentives for the corporates. So I would say Nairobi is ready to serve as a strategic gateway for Africa because number one, we have supported strong air connectivity. We have international hotel brands in the region. we have conferences infrastructure, where we have one which will be, I think it's opening this year for the government. It's called Bomas Convention Center, and then also we have a bigger, growing hospitality ecosystems. And happy to see that we have mostly, some of us South Africans who are also investing in Kenya in terms of hospitality ecosystem. Yeah, and it's also important, to say that it contributes to the long-term, development of the regional MICE industry by promoting industry collaboration, knowledge sharing, and community development, and also, public-private sector engagement. Because in this event or this show, we are going to have government officials represented from Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Kenya.
Okay, great. In closing, your 30-second elevator pitch, why should we all come over to Nairobi and attend the event?
Thank you so much. So the reason for you to attend is because, number one, you get to experience not only Nairobi, you'll experience the whole of Kenya, the whole of East Africa. Because one thing to know is that we are so ready in terms of business events, but I would say we are more known of safaris and leisure tourism, but we are so ready for business events and also business travel. So come in and get an opportunity to meet with the top industry players, yeah, the DMCs, the
Okay.
hotel, the venues, and so on. So it's easy for you, even as a DMC, whoever is a DMC is able to sell Africa as a whole. You can sell any section of Africa.
Okay, no, great. Thank you, Calvin, for joining us, despite a bit of challenges in the background there where you are. So we've been going almost for an hour, and I'm going to play out a video of an interview that I did with Mr. Sudhir Divan, chairperson of International Exhibition and Event Logistics Associations, IL, which will have its 2026 Congress at the Sun City Resort from 24 to 27 June this year. And after this, we would then continue with the live conversation. The pleasure of welcoming Mr. Sudhir Dhawan, who is the chairperson of the International Exhibition Event Logistics Association, IELA in short, and he is also the Chief Executive Officer of R.E. Rogers in India. The association will be hosting its annual Congress and Partnering Event 2026 at Sun City from 24 to 28 June 2026. The event is set to create substantial opportunities for exhibition freight forwarding companies at both local and international level. And Sudhir is here and has accepted our invitation to unpack the full vision and plans behind the Congress. Welcome, Sudhir, and tell us more about how these events will aim to shape the future of global event logistics. Welcome.
Thank you, Garrett. First of all, good afternoon to you from India. And thank you for this opportunity to connect together, to explore more as a brainstorm on the forthcoming Congress, which is upcoming in South Africa in Sun City. Just to give you a brief, we have had this Congress planned well before COVID for 2020. However, COVID played a bitter role, and we had to postpone this whole Congress. And now we have again the opportunity to come back to South Africa. Of course, we have certain odds, not the COVID, but we are more excited to be in South Africa. Just to give you the heads up about the Congress, this is our 41st annual Congress, mainly being divided into two parts. One is the Congress part for the members and the partnering part for the non-members as well. For the non-members, we look after the white spots, we look after the futuristic members who are going to be associated with ILA so that they get benefited, and we also get benefited by having our wings being spreaded all across the globe, and having our wings being spreaded all across the globe with the knowledge, with the know-how about the exhibitions and events freight forwarding.
Okay, great. The Ayala Congress is known for its highly targeted one-on-one partnering format. From your perspective, what makes this approach more valuable for exhibition freight forwarders than a traditional trade show, exhibition, or conference?
Well, partnering format is one of the aspect which we look after. Best way to network with all our partners, which we meet us physically after 1 year. So we all wait for this day to come, and we all wait to make sure that we put across the table what the year was to each other and how we can take forward the further forthcoming challenges, or how we can make sure that the smoother will be the journey in the upcoming year. So that's the whole
Yeah,
perspective behind the one-on-one. But other than the partnering side, we also have the keynote messages from the speaker. We also have the South Africa, the African-based market review from one of the speakers, which will be like giving us a very good idea about the African market, the whole economy, how the exhibition industry is prospering in Africa, and how beneficial we can be in the near future as far as exhibition event logistics is concerned. Up to you.
yeah, great. So hosting the 2026 edition in South Africa, it places the spotlight primarily, as you've mentioned, inclusive of the African component. It places the spotlight on the African exhibition logistics sector. What opportunities does this create for local and regional companies looking to expand their international network and partnerships beyond the African continent?
This is a very good question, actually. We are coming to South Africa. We do have some members in South Africa who are veterans ILA members for a long time. However, to expand beyond South African continent in terms of the African reach, this Congress is very, very important for us to initiate the dialogue, to make sure we connect with the like-minded forwarding companies who are also specialized or who wants to be a part of ILA, to expand their growth, to expand their wings all across the exhibition forwarding industry, and to cater to Africa and the African continents in such a way that the motto or the mantra of the exhibition event logistics DNA gets spread very well into the African energies, I can say.
Yeah, leading on to the aspect of logistics. So logistics in the exhibition sector is evolving rapidly, particularly around customs compliance, sustainability, and global supply chain efficiency, and the challenges we find therein. So, which industry trends do you expect to dominate the conversation at the 2026 conference?
In the global supply chain of the logistics arena, I must say the exhibition event logistics is a very, very different takeaway. It's a very, very different product. It doesn't only stand on the compliances of customs, sustainability, etc., etc. It stands on a commitment. It stands on a partnership. It
Uh,
stands on a great deal of deliverables in terms of 24/7 services. And that's why I said, when we are coming to South Africa for this particular Congress, we are looking out for a like-minded approach from the futuristic perspective to develop this whole concept of the exhibition events logistics into the African continent in more and more and in better manner, so that the message travels to the whole world that look, ILA has a solution for the exhibitions and events logistics business.
Great. So many companies see Ayala or the Congress as an opportunity for extensive networking, see it as a gateway to perhaps foster new relationships, long-term business growth, and global credibility. They look for that when attending the Congress. What tangible outcomes or business opportunities can delegates realistically expect from attending the event in Sun City?
Oh, you correctly mentioned about what can be the takeaways from the ILA, from the networking part, from the business perspective, etc., etc. However, I would say ILA is more than that. ILA takeaway doesn't only stop at the networking. ILA takeaway is something which is ILA families standards. The standards in terms of doing the ethical way of business all across the world, and the standards all across the world are same, so that the doing of the business, making of the business is much more easy for an organizer whosoever comes from any part of the globe to communicate in their own language. The partners are all across the world, and this is the key thing which ILA has, and this is the key thing which is always result oriented in terms of the business activity all across the globe. So I would say uh, the takeaway is more than networking. The takeaway is uh, more than making business, but the takeaway is more than making each country's economy run, which is the trade fair business, which is the event business, in a better way, in a better manner, so that every deliverable counts, every deliverable is achieved into a deadline oriented way, deadline oriented manner.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, any welcoming words before you people arrive in South Africa to whoever may be watching?
I would say the time which we have waited since 2020, it's something which has come now to make it for South Africa, in spite of the odds, of course. I would like to mention over here that the whole world is going through a bad patch. We all know about the Middle East crisis right now. We all know about the Russia-Ukraine crisis, which has been going on for years now. However, in spite of these odds, ILA is coming with a full force to South Africa to show the strength of more than 250 delegates, for sure.
No, great stuff. I'm sure about the warmest welcome you will receive at Sun City. And thank you, Sudhir, for coming along. And that was Sudhir Dhawan, chairperson of the International Exhibition Event Logistics Association, IALA, and also Chief Executive Officer of R.E. Rogers in India. And that's where we would leave it for now. Thank you very much and see you next time.
Thank you, Garrett, and
Okay, great. Am I on stage there again? Now, thank you. That was Sudhir Dhawan, chairperson of IALA. And if we have to move on, we're not following the script of the program because some individuals have not arrived in the studio yet. But Kezi has been there also since the beginning. Kezi, I'm going to add you to the stage, convener of Africa MICE Summit. If you can maybe just I see you twice there. What's happening? Kezi, welcome. Can you hear us, Kezi?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, good.
I can
Good
hear
morning.
you well. Good morning. Good morning. I'm not sure why there is two of us or two of myself, but this is just me.
Blame it on AI.
Thank you for having me.
Blame
Perhaps
it
I
on
have a
AI.
clone.
Why there's two of you? No, great. There we go.
Yeah.
There. AI heard us and ran scared. Okay, great. Kezi is the convener of Africa MICE Summit. We're going back to Nairobi. And so essentially what we are saying is that it seems that it's becoming a hotspot, Kezi, for business events.
Absolutely. Nairobi is obviously very strategically positioned for business events. It is a business hub for East and Central Africa. It's a diplomatic hub for the continent, a lot of activity going on in terms of conversations on trade and investment, diplomatic relations for Africa with the rest of the world. A lot of that dialogue does actually happen in Nairobi. So you're right to say that it is a hotspot for critical conversations for the continent.
And as a matter of fact, Kezi, that the Africa MICE Summit coincides with another big African aviation summit just a few kilometers from your venue.
Absolutely. I think it just goes to show, firstly, not just about the choice of location, but also how the focus, I think the lens is narrowing on the importance of tourism, travel, hospitality, MICE, just the entire ecosystem is becoming critical conversation. And if you look at some of the dialogues that have taken place in Nairobi, but also across the region, there's quite a focus on the industry, the broader industry, and how it contributes to catalyzing other industries on the continent. And that has been our point all along, that the MICE industry, tourism in itself, has potential to catalyze the growth of other industries. And as we see shifts around other economic sectors, like, countries that have traditionally relied on oil production, for example, having to diversify and therefore put more emphasis on the development of the tourism sector, and particularly the business event sector. And it's a good thing to see the continent getting to that point.
I want to go off script here, Kezi. What's the situation with the BOMAS?
I think that's Kenya's big statement to the continent on our commitment to grow the sector and to grow the destination as far as business tourism is concerned. I think it's been long overdue, considering that you have many corporate organized global enterprises headquartered in Nairobi, at least their regional offices. You also have a lot of influx of the diplomatic community in Nairobi. So it was necessary to make significant investment as far as infrastructure for MICE is concerned. So that in itself, signals the readiness of the destination to take on more, high ticket events, or bring in more numbers. As far as I know, they've of course been slight delays, but if you look at the size of that project, some of that could be expected, that it could fall short on timelines. But I do see great projections for the industry 2027 and beyond. I understand we already have significant bookings coming into the country for 2028 all the way to 2030. And so it's a good thing to see. And that in itself, I think, catalyzes investment, even from private sector, in infrastructure development for the sector.
Okay, great stuff. Back to your event. Give us some more details about the Africa MICE Summit and what delegates, investors, policymakers, and industry stakeholders can expect from this year's event.
Great. So for anybody just watching us or listening in who may not know, the Africa MICE Summit is Africa's premier continental platform that focuses on advancing the business events industry across the continent. So what we've done, and it's beyond just an event, it's a platform that seeks to build the entire MICE ecosystem. So we bring together governments, the tourism boards, you have investors, the hospitality brands, airlines, event professionals. We have technology innovators in the room, because we drive conversation around innovation for MICE and projecting the MICE of the future. What does that look like, and how is Africa getting ready? We also bring on board development partners, and the conversation at the Africa MICE Summit is how the business event sector can accelerate trade, investment, tourism growth, and innovation for Africa. We see the Africa MICE Summit as a platform for our industry to come at the forefront of continental integration and to come at the forefront of driving trade innovation, because we build these platforms that bring conversations to the continent. And so we want the industry taking center stage as far as continental development is concerned. And that is what happens at the Africa Mice Summit. Maybe in a nutshell, what would delegates expect? It's the connection, that ecosystem support, that you have all these different players in one room. So you can expect conversations that are policy oriented, that end up, driving how policy in different countries participating in the summit, it goes forward as far as business events is concerned. But you can also expect business to business engagements. There's a lot of knowledge transfer, setting of standards. We do have the Africa Mice Awards hosted on the sidelines of the summit, and that celebrating excellence and industry leadership. And of course, accelerating the development of pipelines and showcasing even to the rest of the world that Africa is ready to host bigger meetings.
Okay, thank you. You've pretty much covered all the questions that I wanted to ask you in a nutshell. I can see you very much on top of the mice industry in the East African region, and we'll get you back end of next month to give us an update. Maybe there's some key developments taking place around the conference or the award ceremony, which you'd like to share with us, perhaps the end of June. We'll call on you again. Thank you for coming along, Casey. Until next time.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. So next up, I see we have Gianni in the room. I'm going to add Gianni to the stage. Good morning, Gianni.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. So
Great.
if my French pronunciation is good, Gianni represents Diamonds Bezoek Resort.
Yeah.
Is that how you would say it, Gianni?
Yes, Diamond Bijou Resort in Zanzibar.
I thought it's not what
Zanzibar.
Yeah, I went onto Google and it says Bezoek and not Bezoek.
Yeah. Correct.
Great to have you along, Gianni. And the World Travel Awards Africa ceremony will be hosted at the Diamonds Bezoek Zanzibar on the 28th of August, if my memory serves me correct. What does it mean for the resort? What does it mean for the resort to host this prestigious tourism and hospitality event, Gianni?
Thank you very much for this great inquiry, our question. For us, it's hosting the World Travel Awards Africa ceremony is an honor and a proud milestone for Diamond Bezoek Zanzibar. Represent for us an international recognition specific for Zanzibar, not only for the hotel, of course, and as one of Africa's most desirable luxury travel destination, and reinforces our commitment and excellence in hospitality, service, and guest experience. Of course, for our resort, this event is a big opportunity to showcase, not only to be beauty and uniques of Diamond Bezoek Zanzibar, but also the warmth, culture, and professionalism that define Tanzania hospitality. Welcoming industry leader for us, and tourism professionals and international media allow us to position the resort and Zanzibar both together. This is an occasion for both together, hotel and the island Zanzibar, on the global luxury tourism map, by contributing positively the destination's visibility and growth. We are really extremely proud to entrusted and hosting such as prestigious events for us and for, I'm sure, for all Zanzibar event, and look forward to create an unforgettable experience for all the attendees. So this is what we want to do, what we really believe in these things together with the Diamonds Bijou Zanzibar and Zanzibar or Zanzibar Island.
Yeah,
So
thanks, Gianni. That leads me to my next question. So, if all our viewers and people attending today, if we would like to attend the event on 28th of August, give us more details about the resort, in short, and the unique guest experiences that delegates and international visitors can expect during the stay attending World Travel Awards Africa.
yes, thank you very much for this question that help us, or me, or us to explain a little bit more about Diamonds Bijou. We can say that Diamonds Bijou is a contemporary luxury beachfront resort. It's designed and combine elegance, comfort, and authentic Highland charm. Honestly, the resort offers a spacious and refined accommodations. Our accommodations are, our rooms are really big, honestly, and especially what we consider the entry level is very spacious room, very brightness room. Most of all our rooms are sea view and position is the resort, honestly, and it's amazing. So we offer a very personalized service, very tailor-made service. What is our mission, our vision, and our target to really personalize a lot our service. Let me say, in the world-class dining experience and direct access to the pristine Indian Ocean, honestly. So the guest, what can expect again? The guest can expect a highly curated experience with a lot, extremely attention to the details. This is our mission in our company mentality, is to stress extremely attention to the details, and even the interaction that we will have with our guests is the reason why our guests are very, very proud, very happy about our people providing to them. We personalize the welcome, we personalize service, turn down experience, wellness offering, and culinary as experience. That we have 5 restaurants, thematic restaurants, so we can really personalize a lot, provide a great experience to our guests. Anyway, so we want at the end to create a memorable moments throughout each guest stay. So what we reflect, the resort honestly reflect a lifestyle. Let me say sophisticated lifestyle atmosphere is what we create every day. We have a different show every day, especially during the dinner time. We use a lot of the beach. People like to stay, we eat outside in open space with the show that we provide to them. So and this is the culture that we provide, is the richness for Zanzibar, honestly. In the case specific for World Travel Award, but in general for all our guests that are coming, so we enjoy to have a peaceful and vibrant environment, ideal, honestly, for relaxation, for relax networking, networking, and also discovery. Anyway, we hope that we work hard to give all our guests enjoying and our private beach, our infinity pool. We have infinity pool, we have lagoon pool. That's one of the biggest pool that we have in the island. Even in Tanzania, we have a lot of wellness facilities, even entertainment. I say so. We have a lot of things that are very in balance between the luxury and the authentic island hospitality. So we try to all the time to provide the correct balance to all our guests that want to live the experience with us in Diamonds Bijou, and specific, in this case specific, with our World Travel Award guests. They are coming for that important venue that we will have the 20th of August in Zanzibar, anyway. So this is our, what can I say? Yeah.
In closing, you have 30 seconds. Elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Invite us now, in your own words, to come to the awards at the end of August. In your own words.
No, we are starting to working, to preparing, because I repeat, the proudness that we have to be organized this event of venue is very important for all of us. We are very exciting of us. Our team that we create start working hard to prepare and everything, because we want to really provide the best experience. I repeat, first for Zanzibar and Tanzania, honestly, and also for Diamonds Bijou, particularly, of course, but the experience, the culture that we want to pass, I really like to pass the culture of the country where we are. Try with the menu that we will propose, because we use only local food, we use local product. We want to pass to our guests which one is the culture, which one is the life of Zanzibar and Tanzania in this case. But overall, let me say, if you can say overall Africa, because we are in the African continent, so we want to pass. The message we want to pass is to explain how is Africa overall mentality and culture is so high and big. Honestly, this is what we want to try to do, what we want to do. Anyway, and this is what we do every day in a normal day with our evaluate guests, honestly. So this one,
yeah,
overall, yeah.
Thank you, Gianni. Thanks for coming along to share a bit of insight of what the resort is all about and some of the things that will happen during the World Travel Awards Africa ceremony on the 28th of August. And perhaps some of us will come and visit and say hello to you when we're there. Thanks, Gianni. Until next time.
Thank you very much, Gerrit. We wait for you. Very, very welcome all the time. Thanks a lot for the opportunity you give to us to explain how is important what we are going to do and what is important we do every day for the hotel, for Zanzibar, for Tanzania, again, let me say, for all Africa continent. Thank you so
very
much.
much.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Time.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great stuff. That was Giannini from Diamond Resorts Bijou in Zanzibar, where World Travel Awards Africa ceremony will take place on the 28th of August this year. So I have Letitia in the room. Letitia, are you there? Waiting patiently. Morning. You're looking sprightly and ready for the interview.
Yeah, well, I'm all excited about Gianni's resort now.
I'm telling you, why do you think I invited him? No, great. Letitia van Straten is the head of media partnership at the Festival of Eventing, which had their inaugural edition a year ago. No, September this year would be a year ago in Cape Town, and they wisely decided to bring it to Johannesburg. Welcome, Letitia, and kindly share with us more details about the 2026 edition, what delegates, partners, and industry stakeholders can expect from this year's event, and also where it will be taking place. Welcome.
Okay, well, thank you, Gerrit. First off, obviously, we've moved the event from Cape Town to Johannesburg, so people can expect a little bit warmer weather than last year's event in August. But aside from that, obviously last year was our launch event, and 2026 this year will be a little bit bigger, more immersive and more practical than before. It's taking place at the Canvas River Sands in Johannesburg, which I think was the right decision because we have so many event players across, the spectrum, from large-scale events to small event organizers, venues, etc., that are based and clustered around Johannesburg and Gauteng. And then this year it will go beyond the traditional conference format to create a fully sensory eventing experience, which I think is very important. So delegates can expect, on-site features like elegant experiences, bringing all their wow experiences to the event again this year. Last year was fantastic from them. They can look forward to Campfire, which will capture, through facial recognition, all the photos, and these galleries will be sent to individuals with your photos highlighted. So that's an amazing, technology experience. On site, we are looking at, business matchmaking through Espresso Meetup. And they will basically make sure that you get to meet and choose who you want to meet at the event to really enhance your experience and make sure you've got the business connections going forward. And then obviously, interactive spaces that's designed to spark real connection and collaboration. The Canvas River Sands is quite a unique venue that we are able to use, inside and outside. So we are able to really cater for everyone's needs when it comes to the networking areas. But it's not about setting through boring expectations. It's about getting practical knowledge, strategies, and building meaningful industry relationships, and then walking away with knowledge and tools that you can immediately implement to future-proof your business. And the events industry is rapidly evolving. So we're looking forward to designing future-proof event businesses and professionals at our event.
I like that term, future-proof events, and which brings me to my next question. So your main theme is building an industry ecosystem, not just an event, right? So essentially, yes. What are we saying here is that how is the Festival of Eventing, your event, positioning itself as a platform for collaboration? We've been using that term quite a bit this morning already, that would lead to innovation and perhaps long-term industry growth. One of the aspects we talked about was there's this gap between who's in the industry and the youth not entering the industry. But more on the collaboration, Letitia, of industry role players.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question because there's so many events out there. But the one thing that's always stood out to me as I grew up in the event industry and have worked in it for about 25 years is that there's nothing that can replace the face-to-face. Once you have a face-to-face meet up with someone and you build on that relationship, the sky's the limit in terms of future business that you can potentially do with them. So FOE is really just about creating a space where the entire events industry can come together, learn about the latest technologies, products, services available, and what is happening, what are the trends, which technologies are being implemented. With AI coming in, I think that's a big thing across every industry. And a lot of industries are at risk of, losing jobs because of AI, etc. That's always something that comes up. And especially in SA with our very high unemployment rates, that is something of concern. So we want to take this event and just bring everyone together beyond hosting it. The goal is to strengthen the relationships and encourage innovation and create long-term opportunities across the whole African eventing ecosystem. This includes building relationships through key industry associations, media partnerships, international and local suppliers, organizers, venues, and all the other important stakeholders across the value chain. And I think if anything is prevalent in the events industry, it's a very tenacious industry. Coming out of COVID, we know that it shot up very quickly, took some time, but it has recovered quite well. And it has a lot of job opportunities for the youth. And last year at our event, I think we saw a lot of the old faces in the event industry. We are working hard at attracting the youth into this industry, which is not as glamorous as it seems from the outside world. I think one of the speakers mentioned that earlier. But I think the key point is that it is an industry that is always evolving. And for us to really move forward, we need that tech-savvy youth to join us and help all that.
No, thank you. So give us a rundown of the 2 days in terms of overarching segments and sessions.
Yeah, I mean, essentially this year at the event, we've got the two main conference days on the 29th and the 30th, but there will also be some pre-event workshops taking place, as well as a post-event workshop. The event content will cover, future-focused content like AI integration, immersive technology, data-driven design. I mean, which industry don't make decisions nowadays on data and AI? And I think that, every event organizer, venue, supplier, etc., if they're not integrating these technology, the technology that's available really into their business, they are unable to actually move forward with the times. We've got targeted tracks for bespoke content for suppliers, event owners, and C-suite leaders, because we realize that not everyone has the same challenges, different roles, different challenges, different types of businesses, different challenges, etc. So we want to make sure that through our conference tracks, we are able to cover that. Practical mastery, so the sessions are designed for immediate implementation and ROI. You could walk away from the event with, even if it is 5 good new ideas that you can implement today, it will make a huge difference to your business going forward. And then, the strategic matchmaking, which I've mentioned, I think that is really, really key from face-to-face events, is that you get to meet with the people that is really going to make a difference in your business, that can help you build it, that can supply you with the right products and services to future-proof it, that can help you enhance your experience for on-site attendees or post-event, which is normally when everything falls really flat. We want to make sure that we bring people together and that they get to see everything that is available to enhance their events, as opposed to just, doing the same old formats, using the same old suppliers. And I think it will also boost, the economy in the sense that we will have local suppliers that are able to adapt and offer all these latest technologies to local companies.
No, well said. You covered all the topics I wanted to raise with you. And perhaps at our next edition, end of June, you'll come along and perhaps share more about the program, specifically over the 2 days of conference and pre and post events as well. Perhaps there are any other major announcements that you would like to make. So that's where we'll leave it for now. In total, everybody, thank you, Leticia, for coming along. Highly appreciated. And see you next time.
Fantastic. Thank you, Gerard.
Thank you. So that's it, everybody. So our next event is on the 11th of June, and we would primarily focus on MICE and tourism membership associations. And then 2 weeks after that, we will come back to MICE events and those activities that promotes the MICE industry. Thanks for coming along. That's where we'll leave it for now. Until next time.